Would you take a massive pay cut in order to work from the beach? Well, that's what Citigroup are offering 30 junior investment bankers. This was brought to my attention recently. Citigroup are offering 30 junior front office investment banking division bankers or junior bankers an opportunity to go and work from Malaga. So Malaga is a coastal city in Spain. With that comes 320 days of sunshine in the year. They are offering them to work reduced hours. So rather than working 18 to 20 hour days or 80 to 120 hour work weeks in the investment banking division, if you take an offer, if you sign the contract to work in Malaga as an investment banking analyst, you are going to be working reduced hours, probably a 9 to 5 or a 9 to 6, 9 to 7 at worst. And so in addition to the 320 days of sunshine and reduced working hours, you get better work-life balance. However, there are some downsides. Well, I say downsides. The cost of living in the UK and US are probably double or triple the cost of living in Malaga. And so you have a lower cost of living, but your salary gets roughly halved. So if you join the investment banking division in Citigroup in New York, for example, your base salary is going to be around $110,000. If you take up the offer to join the Malaga office, you're going to be on a base salary of around $50,000. So it's half of the base salary that you might expect in New York, but the cost of living is obviously going to be a lot lower in Malaga. And then I've read that after 2 years, you get the option to apply to be a full-time analyst, and that might be in the New York office or the London office. And so that's the offer on the table. 30 junior investment bankers have the opportunity to go and start their careers in Malaga. In 2021, Citigroup, just like a lot of the other bulge bracket investment banks, increased their base salaries for the US investment banking analysts to $100,000. And then early in 2022, in January, they raised that again. So right now, I think it's anywhere between $105,000 and $110,000 base salary for US investment banking analysts at Citigroup. However, Citigroup don't believe that pay or salaries are the #1 determining factor that cause people to stay in a company or leave. They believe a lot more is to be done with regards to work-life balance. And so that's why they're kind of trying this experiment, if you want to call it, in Spain, Malaga, to see, you know, what happens. Personally, I think fair enough. It's an experiment. It will be interesting to see how many people sign up, how many people actually last, how many people stay there for the long term, how many people do it for 2 years and then actually progress into a full-time analyst role in one of the core hubs like London or New York. Whether you're interested in investment banking specifically, or any other parts of an investment bank, or any other parts of the financial services industry in general, a good way to stand out in interviews and throughout your application is to talk about some of the investments or trades that you're currently involved in. Which brings me on to today's video sponsor, Composer. Composer is a new venture capital backed investment tech startup that's revolutionizing quantitative trading for all retail traders. What used to take Python, Excel and a Bloomberg terminal is now available to anyone. Best of all, it's free. Many of the biggest hedge funds in the world have graduated from picking stocks individually and instead use algorithms to trade stocks systematically. Algorithmic investing has been out of reach for ordinary investors, but this has all changed with Composer. So Composer is super cool because it's kind of like a no-code super tool that lets you invest like a quant fund. No engineering degree required. You can create a rules-based trading algorithm by dragging, dropping and seamlessly editing logic statements. They have tons of templates algorithms you can use as baselines and add to them to make it as complicated as you like. For example, this Composer strategy, buy the dips Nasdaq, buys the leveraged TQQQ ETF every time the QQQ falls by 5% and holds a bond ETF otherwise. You can open it and edit it to change the parameters or add new functions to your liking. The possibilities with Composer are endless. Use my unique link in the video description down below to get access to Composer today. Full disclosures are also in the video description. Now let's get back to the video. So obviously there's going to be pros and cons to this kind of move. Potential downsides include, obviously, if you're going to be in Malaga, which is an office which only has like 30 people, I assume it's going to have, it means you're disconnected from, you know, people in the core offices like New York and London. And so when you're not in and around these people in the office, you miss a lot of networking opportunities, and there's a lot of value in one's career to be around people in the office, especially if it's key decision makers. You can learn from a lot of people when you're present. in the office, you know, small talk, just impromptu meetings, catch-ups, etc. It's just not the same as having those meetings over the phone or over Zoom. So that's one of the downsides. What would be interesting to know is if you are joining as an investment banking analyst in Malaga on the reduced pay package and reduced hours, does it impact your future growth at the company? I assume it does, because they say, you know, after 2 years you can apply to be a full-time analyst, but it will be something worth noting if you're considering this option. And then another point is that a lot of investment banks, let's take JP Morgan for example, they have offices in smaller regions. So they've got offices, I think, in Bournemouth in the UK. And typically when you've got people from the investment bank working in a let's say global hub or city center like London or New York, so on and so forth, it's typically people who are not in front office divisions. Typically it's like back or middle office roles and not necessarily revenue generating or front office positions. Would you consider this opportunity? Would you go and work from Malaga in Spain, the coastal city where there's 320 days of sunshine in the year, and earn $50,000 and work less hours? Or would you rather work in London or New York, earn double the amount but work 2 or 3 times the number of hours? Which would you do? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it to the end of the video, give the video a like, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.